What's this?
Jed poof.
Oh, we lost Jed?
Officially now.
All right. Well, hopefully he can come back. Wait. We're live. Oh, my goodness. While we were rushing around trying to do everything slightly unusual, we went live. And therefore, it's Sean Connery wearing not enough clothes here at Tabletop Simulator. This is Saturday Night Fights, but this is a very special Saturday Night Fights, folks, because tonight is Cyber Wars for the HMGS. This, we would have had right around this time of year Historicon. Well, because of all the evil in the world, there is no Historicon, but instead we do have the opportunity to.
I got my sound back.
Nice. That is excellent.
I hear you.
Awesome.
But this is a very special. So we
All I
have
have
the
to do is find
opportunity
the
to
table.
come together virtually and play some Blucher. Now, let me. I have one last thing I gotta do. Steady. Don't want to lose anybody.
I had to restart Steam. So how do I restart the tabletop?
Let me get you.
We can hear you chomping.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have
That's
to go
not me.
easy
Oh,
on the food.
I'm sorry.
Somebody's gonna have to go easy on the snacks. The
I don't believe Jim realizes. Jim, your mic's muted again.
Okay, there we go.
I do.
Yeah. How do you do that?
It's right there. How's that? I don't know how I'm doing it. It must be all my
There
fierce
we go.
typing.
Okay.
It's all my fierce typing.
Must be.
So we've got Jed in the chat, but we don't have Jed in the game. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Got him. I'm gonna go find him. On my friends list mere moments ago.
Yeah, because I was listening to you on your broadcast. I'm like, why aren't I hearing him on the game?
Got it. There he is. Got him right there. Where is he? There we go.
So everybody knows the table. If you do hear silence, usually Jim is talking. If you hear silence, that means, yes, Jim muted himself.
Jim muted himself. There, that's a tradition. Yeah. So, Jed, you should have another invite from me to the game. Failing
Not
that,
seeing it.
you can browse for friend games in the multiplayer menu, and I doubt you'll have too many of those, and we are Saturday Night Fights.
Okay.
Yeah, it occurred to me this was going to be a lot harder than just setting up my table in the middle of the Langster host and waiting for nice people to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just struggling with this. So why don't you guys just go ahead and I'll get in and watch eventually, and that's fine. I just want to see how the game plays. So.
Well, first of all, everybody's showing up already in the online, so that's cool. No, and it's like I say, I will send you one more just in case you can spot that thing, because we certainly want to have you in game if we can get you.
Okay.
Just sent you another invite. And hopefully that'll flare up in your chat. We can get you on in here. Otherwise, look for it in the multiplayer menu. And if you have any questions, let me know. So
yeah, I don't know where the multiplayer menu is. So.
Oh, okay. It's when you first come into Tabletop Simulator. It says create and join.
Yeah.
You want to join. And then you
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it.
You got it?
Saturday Night Fights.
That's us.
Yeah.
And
All
it's
right.
and it's for friends only, and you are a friend, so you can come on in.
There we go. There we go.
Awesome.
There he is.
And in you come.
So
See?
I leave Michael.
Just like downtown.
Oof.
Mm-mm. You're 6. I'm still short. Mm-hmm. You ain't going nowhere, Home Slice.
All right. I'm in.
Wonderful. And I think you can grab your red again over there. So let's talk about a few things that are part and parcel of doing Tabletop Simulator for those who don't have experience with it. one of the biggest in dealing with Blucher. Let me do some apologies first before we start Austerlitz. Until the official modeler to the Armchair Dragoons, our guy Giorgio, builds them, there are no Frenchmen with bicorns. And so these French, as much as I love them, do not have bicorns. I'm sorry. I'll go zoom in and I'll show you. They have shakos.
That's just terrible.
I know. Look away. Look away. Otherwise you'll be sad. That's a dreadful thing. Number 2, for those who have played Blucher before, and this is an issue that Ron and Velker are very familiar with, the way you turn things in Tabletop Simulator. You're going to be grabbing things with your hand. You're going to place it on an object. And by the way, I'm over here. You're going to grab things. You're going to left click and hold. No problem at all. And you're going to go out like this. And then to turn them, you're going to use your Q and E. The trick is, because Tabletop Simulator was not designed with miniature wargamers in mind entirely, the increment is 15 degrees. That creates some wonk. I'm not going to lie to you. But, at the same token, we will, as the umpire, I will adjust for this. So we'll figure it out. So of our 6 players, I know that oh, geez. I really should split up the French because I realize I've got 3 experienced players. Jeepers.
I don't mind swapping with somebody.
Yeah, you want to...
I'll go Russian.
Yeah, Zeke, you want to go jump... Does somebody on the Allied side want to jump over to the French, please? Because Zeke has got some great experience playing Blucher, and I want to put some experienced players on both sides. Anybody?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Cool.
Yeah, so basically get out of your color that you have and jump over here to grab this color that was over here.
Exactly. Daniel is now French. Are you okay with that, Daniel? And by the way, it's really nice to talk to you in person, I should say. It seems like I've known you for a long time, and finally to have you here is great. Cool. So we've got everybody set up. So let's talk about the game of Blucher. So who has never played Blucher before? Can you just say your name?
Jed.
Okay. Is it just Jed? Any the others have played at least
I'm
once?
the only one.
I haven't played.
Okay. So Patrick and Jed have not played. That's cool. So we've got 4 experienced players and 2 not. That's absolutely fine. The way Blucher thinks, it centers around 2 basic things. The number 1 is the core system. And you're going to be dividing up your commands by cores. The way it's situated, and you'll notice if you mouse over and let it sit, all these units have a corps and division designation. For example, this unit here is part of the 3rd Division of the 5th Corps, 3rd Brigade, Valhubert. This is also 3rd Division, 5th Corps. The brigade and the division designations are for historical information only. What matters is you're going to activate corps. Every turn, under this veil of secrecy over here, and over here, each side is going to roll dice. The other side, so for example, if it's the French turn, the Austrians will roll their dice. They're called momentum or mo dice. When these dice are rolled, that will determine how many actions that side is going to be able to take. The trick is, of course, you don't know. You're not going to know how many moves you have. So you've got to be a little strategic about it. Now, we're going to be playing our own version of the multiplayer rules. We'll talk about that in a second. But we're not playing with the spotting rules. I'm not a particular fan of them, and they don't make a lot of sense on a battle like this anyway. So if we go over here to our cheat sheet, we're going to skip the information phase, but then we're going to do the movement phase. And what each side is going to do, every corps commander, that's each of you, is going to get an opportunity to activate a corps first. To activate a corps, that unit has to be in the same corps. A corps activation must include at least 2 units. So, for example, these 2 units could activate together. Each unit activated counts 1 point. Once you're done activating, now to be in a core, you must be within 1 base width or 3 inches. You'll notice these guys are exactly 3 inches apart. All right. If they're more than 3 inches, you cannot activate them as a core. Then units, so then once you've decided who to activate, you've got some basic choices. In Blucher, under most circumstances, units that move cannot fire. So you're going to have to make those sorts of difficult choices each turn. If you choose to move, movement rates are fairly standardized. Probably there are the two trickiest things in all of Blucher, in my judgment, are understanding the difference between simple and complex moves and preparing. What's a simple move? A simple move allows you to pivot any way you like. But once you're done pivoting, you must go straight ahead. No veering, no echelon, none of the words we miniatures gamers love so much. Straight ahead on a rope. And if you are an infantry unit, you will go exactly 6 inches forward. You can go less if you want. That's it. There it is. Well done. That's how it's done. If, on the other hand, you don't want to go straight ahead, or you want to turn in some other way, or you encounter a river, a city or town, or I think that's the only terrain we've got that's like that. Oh, down here. The pheasantry, down here at Austerlitz. Now you are in difficult terrain, and you can only move 3 inches. But the thing with Blucher is, and this took me forever to get right, if you move a difficult move, which is just 3 inches for infantry, you can face at the end of your turn. So in effect, you can go in any direction you want as long as it's straight. What do I mean? Let's say I don't want to turn and go straight. I want to be able to, and this is the way it's most frequently done.
Oh, wait, we have our newest. We have someone new.
We do?
Yeah, we have our newest. I don't know who that
We got
is.
our newest?
Yes.
That's our guy. Oh, let me get him into the chat. Please join us, please join us, please join us.
I'll move out of his spot, so he may...
Yeah, you can take one of the GM spots real quick.
Well, I can only be a spectator.
That's okay.
I shall spectate.
Yes, Valkyr, stay.
Well, the other reason we want Velker to stay is we can all get a tabletop simulator achievement very quickly.
You have to actually add an
Oh, that too.
otherwise I can't make a line. I cannot make
Okay,
a
Ron
line.
is here, but I've got to get him into the chat. It's Robert, I should say.
I was gonna say, you confusing me again?
You should be so lucky.
Is he saying something? Oh, is he?
Everyone.
There he is.
There he is.
We got you, Robert?
That Robert?
We're hearing you sniff.
Yep.
Awesome. Very pleased to have you by. So, I was worried.
Pleased to have you by. So, I was worried. Yeah.
So,
A bit of
Your-
trouble finding it. I'm not familiar with Tabletop Simulator. It's my second game on it.
sure. the way your voice is set up is the same thing that Ron's got, which means I need you to set your chat to push to talk, please. Because otherwise, everybody's gonna hear my voice twice when nobody really wants to hear it once.
Yep, that's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll just plug headphones in. That should
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
solve the problem.
Excellent.
Comes back and it's very old timey.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like I'm on old-timey radio.
Yeah.
I kind of want to sing in an alto. Making you a zone, Velker. What's that? Grab page.
That sounds promising.
It does. That sounded like speakers hooking up.
Okay.
Awesome. Very good to hear. So, Robert, you can grab orange down here.
Click on the circle.
Yeah, you want to click on yourself, your name up there at the upper right,
Okay.
and say choose color.
Change color.
Change color.
Then there should be a bright orange circle right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bright orange ball.
Click on that.
Yeah, just left click it.
There he is.
And there he is.
Alright.
All
All right,
right.
now I'm going to tell you to do something else real quick.
What's that?
Click on your name again, R. Lewis. Or Lewis.
Okay.
Do change team, and put it and click on hearts.
So do the same thing you did to change color. So click on your
And
name.
he's done it. He's on Team Hearts.
Now
so they
you're
can-
on our team.
They
Yay!
can have secret chats. All right.
Jed needs to do that for diamonds.
Yeah, who's
Oh,
out?
I'm so
What do I need to do?
that's why it is.
My bad. I'll swap over.
Zeke needs to be diamonds, and we need to
And
have...
Jed needs to be diamonds.
Yeah, we need Jed over on diamonds.
What do I do?
You just left click on your name at the upper right.
Change team? No.
It's actually, yeah, it's change team. Exactly.
Click on
Okay.
diamonds.
Diamonds.
And pick diamonds. There you go.
There you go.
Now you have a special chat in your box. So theoretically now, we should be able to all get you all an achievement. You all can, this actually is a skill you're going to need anyway. This is how you measure things, and if you didn't know this in Tabletop Simulator. You take the tab button, hold it down, and then draw out the arrow this way. Hopefully everybody, we need 8. We need all 8 of you to do it.
So, and we have to make a star where they're all crossing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
All right,
I'll
so
go this way.
here we go. Let's all make a star.
Because we are all stars.
There it is. There's your light.
Okay.
There we go. Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
actually
the name of my plumbing service, All Star Plumbing.
well, nice. All right.
That's the only reason I'm here. Good day.
All right. See you later, Velker. Velker's gone. All right. So
Bye,
because
Velker.
we now have all our players.
It's my cameo.
We were.
I missed Velker.
So what we were talking about is complex moves, and in Blucher, a complex move, one of the biggest things you do with it, it's how you shift things around. For example, if you want to move this 2nd Brigade de Billy and want to get it out of the way so that Demont can move in, sure, you can move this way, and this 6 inches straight forward. But if you want a retrograde move, 3 inches. And that lets him do the same thing. Also 3 inches. So if you want to move less, but yet be more flexible, that's how you do complex moves. And that's easier to show, to do than to show, to be honest. But, or to explain, I suppose. So movement takes place in the early part of the phase. Again, simple and complex. In addition, there is for every unit a single opportunity to make a strategic move. Now, strategic moves in this particular setup, well, there just might be opportunities for them. But you only get to make one of them per game, and you can only make them on your first activation. What they represent is the advance to contact phase of every battle. It's also the only time that roads are particularly relevant in Blucher. Usually, they're not. Oh, I should say, any part of your unit touches a terrain piece like a river, in this case these are all streams, and a town, you are on the hook for the complex move. So, talking about the much speedier move, and you'll see this, it's simple, difficult, and then there's also reserve move. And this reserve move allows you to make a much more substantial movement. It's 36 inches. But the trick is you can't come any closer than 12 inches from a unit that can see you. Crests block line of sight, as you might well imagine. And once you do that, if you make that movement, that's why I keep this little stash of cubes around. I mark you with a cube saying you've taken advantage of that move. At some point in the game, usually within the first couple turns, it's not particularly relevant. We'll know who has moved and who hasn't. But in the early going, until you start activating folks, it is something we do track in case anybody decides to make any crazy dramatic moves of a strategic kind. Next is the fire phase. And fire ranges, given the scale, because these units are brigades, are very tight. Infantry fire comes in 2 flavors, volley and skirmish. Volley range is close range, and it's 3 inches. The skirmish range is the longer range, and it is 6 inches. It is 45 degrees off the front. Easy enough to do with squares. And in order to fire, you're going to roll your elan. Every unit, if you mouse over it, will show you its elan. You're going to roll that many dice. If you've not seen these lovely die rollers that are Tabletop Simulator standards, to operate them, all you got to do is go left and right on the buttons. And hit this to roll.
Oh, no bang.
Yeah, no bang. If you want to hit in musketry, you have to roll 6s. Every hit reduces the elan of the unit by 1. The exception are these skirmishers. See them? A lot of these French fellows have skirmishers. That's one of the ways in Blucher that you get what's called a bonus. A bonus means one of your... and by the way, skirmishers only apply, shockingly enough, at skirmish range. 6 inches, 3 to 6 inches. It doesn't apply at close range. Skirmishers mean you hit on a 5 or a 6. Attached...
Well, the first 5.
Right, the first one you get. Only the one. Attached artillery. That gives you, in fire only, not in melee, an extra die. The way Blucher thinks about it, you can either have artillery in parks like this one, or you can have it spread out over your brigades. And much of that goes to the operational structure of the units at the time. Melees. Melees are actually fairly straightforward affairs. They are set during the movement phase. Flanks count, rears count. We'll talk about those things situationally. But what you do, let's imagine for a moment that this unit turned around and suddenly fratricidally was charged by these hussars. Bonk.
Traitors.
I know, right? They would be rolling an elan of 6. 6 dice. These units here have an elan of 7. Their skirmishers don't matter, so they would roll 7 dice. You are trying to roll a 4, a 5, or a 6. For every 4, 5, 6 you roll, you have scored a hit. Whoever scores the most hits wins. There's a couple very big howevers. If cavalry charges infantry that has not prepared, my very next topic, if cavalry charges infantry that is not prepared, that infantry must re-roll all its hits. The winner of the melee, well, let's put it this way. If the attacker wins the melee, ties going to the defender. The difference in that victory is deducted from the defender's elan. If the defender wins the melee, the attacker takes 2 elan loss and has to retreat. Retreats are 6 inches, facing the wrong way. If, however, cavalry is defeated or wins when it confronts infantry, even if it wins, unless it destroys the infantry, it must bounce back 6 inches, but it may keep facing the same way. Units that win a melee may advance into the space occupied formerly by the unit they defeat. Victory in Blucher is determined by destroying units. Every unit destroyed is a morale hit, as is seen here on these little counter doohickeys. Morale of the French to start the battle is 18. The morale of the Allies is 11. I should not neglect artillery fire. Artillery fire, as is so often the case in Napoleonic battles, comes in 2 flavors. Short range, affectionately known as canister, and long range. Close range is 6 inches. Long range is as can be seen. Target selection. You must always target the most dangerous opponent. And we'll go through that situationally. The only exception is artillery, which, outside of canister range, 6 inches, may fire at anybody it bloody well pleases. Units block line of sight to each other. Oh, and of course, interpenetration. Units may interpenetrate, provided they can complete the movement. If you are moving a corps, so let's imagine these fellas were like this. I know I'm moving this corps, and that's going to cost me 3 points, but I'm going to get to finish that movement. So it's okay for me to do this, to get this far and sit, because I know I'm going to have enough points to move this fellow out of the way. If you don't have that guarantee, that is not permitted. And now preparing. One of the biggest deals in Blucher is preparing infantry, and it comes in 2 particular flavors. Preparing is the only thing you do for that turn. You may not move and prepare. If you are prepared, you lose all your flanks. You have none. You cannot be flanked. Of course, you are at a disadvantage if fired at by artillery, but you lose the disadvantage if you are suddenly attacked by infantry, or by cavalry, forgive me. The other big thing you do with preparing in spaces where it's appropriate, and we'll identify those in the scenario briefing. You may prepare inside a town. If you do this, you become astonishingly difficult to remove. Assaulting a town against prepared infantry in Blucher is an exercise in patience and bloodshed. Please know that. Infantry in towns may not shoot out, nor may they be shot at by small arms. They may be bombarded. I know that's an awful lot. I want to pause and ask if anybody has any immediate questions.
No.
All right. That is the kind of lofty optimism I really like.
How do you know which?
Optimistic is the word.
Go ahead.
How do you know? How do you know which units you command?
We're going to talk about that in just a second. That I'm going to give you $1 because that's a wonderful segue. I got to bring up my little guidebook here. This is the point in the story where I honor Ross McGee and my good friends at Old Meldrum. They are a wonderful game group. They were the ones that showed me the way on this, and they're the ones that did not. That I don't know if any of you saw. Well, I know some of you played it. What am I talking about? The Wagram scenario that we had. This is done by them. These scenarios are designed by them, play tested, and if you've ever seen their briefings, they are seriously production quality. They are truly terrific, and Blucher Wargamers owe them a huge debt. In fact, now that we've wound up here in this whole COVID-19 situation, I owe them a double debt because they've allowed me to play Blucher. So let's talk about the story here. Obviously, it's the Battle of Austerlitz, 2nd December, 1805. We've got Napoleon the Emperor. He's over here. We've got his reserve grenadiers over here. And we've got the Guard. Check out those boys right there. There they are.